And that's the story of Pinocchio.
Grandpa, can you read me one more story?
Oh, sure, child. Oh, this one is the story of Sonnet 108.
Is it a scary story, Grandpa?
Not at all, boy. Sonnet 108, written by Sir Philip Sidney, is actually a love story.
Oh, wow. Is it, Grandpa?
Yes, child. His father was actually an advisor to Edward VI, the king of the time, and he received his education at the Shrewsbury School.
Tell me about the sonnet. Tell me about the sonnet.
Patience, child. We all love sonnets. I know I did when I was a kid. So this work actually comes from his last collection of works, called Astrophel and Stella. Aster coming from the word star, and Phil coming from love.
Grandpa, stop teasing me. Read me the poem already.
Well, of course. When sorrow, using mine of own fire's might, melts down his lead into my boiling breast, through that dark furnace to my heart's oppressed, there shines a joy from thee, my only light. But soon as thought of thee breeds my delight, and my young soul flutters to thee, his nest, most rude despair, my daily unbidden guest, clips straight my wings, straight wraps me in his night, and makes me then bow down my head and say, Ah, what doth Phoebus gold that wretched avail, whom iron doors do keep from use of day, so strangely, alas, thy works in me prevail, and that in my woes for thee thou art my joy, and in my joys for thee only annoy. When sorrow, using the heat of my own oppression's passion, melts down his lead into my boiling breast, through dark furnace to my oppressed heart, a joy shines from you, my only light. But as soon as thought of you gives birth to my delight, and my young soul flutters to you, his nest, raw despair, my daily guest, through unasked, immediately clips my wings and wraps me in his night, and then makes me bow my head and say, Ah, what use is Apollo's gold, sunlight, to that wretch, whom iron doors keep from enjoying the day? So strangely, alas, do your actions rule me, that in my sadness concerning you, you are still my joy, and in my joys concerning you, you are my only suffering.
What does it all mean, Grandpa?
Let me break it down. Astrophil means lover of star, and Stella is his star, so it's a love story. Sir Philip Sidney actually adopted the Petrarchan rhyme scheme in this one, but he uses it with a lot of freedom.
Tell me about the metaphor.
So, Astrophil is a representation of Sir Philip Sidney himself, and Stella is a representation of Lady Penelope, who he loves dearly.
Keep on telling me more, Grandpa.
Of course. So later he says that his soul flutters, and if you ask me, souls don't flutter, so that sounds like a bit of a personification. And he also talks about how he's in a dark furnace, which represents him being trapped, and not with his love of Stella.
Well, I gotta get to bed, Grandpa. Wait a second. He isn't my grandpa.